Hello, my name is Brana Tomic, and I will tell you uh, something about this database that I created a few years back for the ethnographic collection of the archives of Serbian Academy of Arts and Sciences. I'm sorry the interface is in Serbian, but I'll try to translate and explain as I go along. The database consists of two main parts. That's the archives, that's this button here, and analysis. This is button here down here. Analysis is for search and for searching and analyzing the database, and archive is mainly used for data entering and editing the database. First, let me tell you something about database structure, and show how practically identical it's to the archive structure. In the archive, we have boxes which are filled with folders, and these folders are in turn filled with pages. These pages, or leaves, or sheets of paper contain text. Sometimes there's text on one side, sometimes there's text on both sides, and this is the structure of this archive database. In the archive and the database, they're exactly the same, but my database has to have another part. We have to pull the text entities from these pages and form the records for these text entities. They are usually poems, stories, proverbs, or perhaps riddles and the things they were collected in the field. There are other texts too. So this first three steps are performed automatically as we import images of the pages, and this last part has to be performed manually. The text has to be transcribed from these pages and enter into the field in the database manually, of course. Now let's go back to the database and let's go to the archive here. This is the collections screen, and the left side, in the form of a menu, we have collections that are already in the database. There are something like 15 collections here, and on the right side of the screen you have metadata for the collection, and you have the contents of the collection, and in this table these are folders. You can see they're folders because their ID has two parts and the collection has only one part. And these are the texts that were already entered from these collections. We can see there's quite a bit of text in this first collection, and we can see maybe some of the collections here. Let's see how they change, and we can take a look at this collection, for instance, and we can see this page here. It's been scanned, and these are the pages in this folder. There's like 21 sheets of paper. That's something like 40 pages, and this is the contents of the page. We have to create a record for each of the texts here. We have to enter the start page and the end page, and once we're done with that, we can move. We can, for instance, if we take a look at this poem number 12, it starts on page 2 and ends on page 2A, and we can take a look at it, and it's right here. It's a very short poem, but it spreads on 2 pages. We can zoom in here, because it's very illegible unless we zoom in. And then what we would do when it's entered, we would actually transcribe, read read the text from the picture on the left, and enter the text in the field on the right side of the screen. Once we're done with that, we could enter the metadata, but usually that's left for the experts. Transcribing is usually done by people that are hired to do that. So that would be the database. Nothing fancy, very simple to use. I can now show you perhaps how to enter the images into the database. For instance, if we go here, let's go to the last collection here, and we can here import the a bunch of images. They're in this folder. If you take a look here, these images are named. The files are named exactly as the sheets of paper that are from the archive, and we can load these images up. And now we have here a folder. It has no name. We can give it a name. We will do that here. We will say, well, for instance, we'll have to use Cyrillic. Priča, that will be stories. And this is the first title page that has the table of contents for this folder. We don't want to use that, but we go straight to page 1, and then okay, and we move here. We see this text first. The first story starts at page 1 and ends at page 1 also, and we'll just say here story 1, and it starts on page 1 and ends on page 1 also. And then we go to page 2. We have another story here, and we'll type here the story number 2, and we can see it starts on page 2, but it ends on page 2a here, and so forth. So we go through all these pages in the folder and give titles and start and end page for each text that we want to enter into database. We can go here now, and we can see that here this page. Now what we would do now is we would read this and try to transcribe it and put it into this field. And this has only one page here on the left side here of the screen. You can see there's only one page, but if we move to the next story that we mentioned, we can see that it has now 2 pages, and we can zoom out and see and read and transcribe it in this field here. After that, we can add metadata here, and we're done. Okay, now let's see the analysis or the search routine. Let's see how that works. Basically, we have all this is the metadata fields here, and this is the word that we want to search for. For instance, we'll search for a word, Devojka, that would mean girl, and we can see these are the forms of this word, because Serbian language is quite complex. And this sort of a dictionary is formed as we perform searches by people that use the database, and we can move these words here. We can add it to this list, and then if we want to search all of these, let's say we want to search for verses, and we want to search for lyric poems, and we just click this button on the bottom, and we get the result here. These are the verses that the search routine found, and rather the words that we were looking for. And these here on the left is metadata for the particular poem. We can, for instance, take a look at this poem, and we can see the whole poem, and then read it, and we can go back and scroll down and pick another one. And this is basically how search. We can also, if we go back here, we can copy only these verses that we found, or we can copy everything and we can print it and do anything that we want. Okay, so this will be the database that I wanted to show you, and thank you for watching this video.